This tutorial will walk through the process of creating an application in Got Decisions. To begin, we click the Create Decision button on the main screen. This takes us to the application builder, which is divided into 3 sections. On the left, we will input the criteria that are relevant to the decision. In the center, we work with the data itself, and on the bottom, we have instructions that will guide us through the process. In this example, we'll build a simple application that compares local restaurants based on 3 criteria: the price of a typical entree, the type of food, and distance. I could enter data into the system manually, starting with the criteria, but here I've prepared a CSV file with the data for 10 different restaurants. Note that the labels for the criteria are in the first row. Also, it's important that restaurant, the column which will be our unique identifier, is the first entry for each listing. Got Decisions will assume that the rest of the fields are criteria. I click on Upload Spreadsheet, locate the file, and click Next. Now we can see that the system has correctly identified my 3 criteria. If I want to, I can set experts for certain criteria from my list of contacts. When I'm finished, I click Next. It looks like the data loaded correctly, but now I have an opportunity to make changes to the data if I want. I can edit, add, or delete rows. When I'm finished, again, I click Next. The Got Decisions engine will now walk through my data, make some basic assumptions about the criteria, and ask me a series of questions. For example, here it correctly determined that the entree price is numeric, and it's asking me to set my ideal price. For now, I'll say that I prefer things as cheap as possible. This can always be changed later. For the type of food, Got Decisions determined that our data is categorical, and there are 3 types: American, Mexican, and Thai. I'll say that I'm really craving Thai food, but I could also go for Mexican, and I would really prefer to avoid American food. For the distance, I'm looking for something as close as possible, and I would really prefer not to travel over 25 minutes, if possible. That's all for inputting the data. The system is now ready to create the application and asks me to enter some basic data. I enter a title and a description. Note that there are also privacy settings I can control if it's important to limit who can see the decision. When I click OK, a waiting message will appear while the application is generated. This process typically takes about 20 seconds, but it can be longer for very large datasets. When the process is finished, I'm automatically redirected. Now I'm in the main application window where I can trade off between various criteria. When I click Go, the results will update to reflect my new trade-off configuration. If I need to make changes to the preferences themselves, like suppose I realize that American food isn't really so bad after all, I can do so in the Data Preferences tab. When I'm finished, I can also save my configuration. When I do this, anyone who has access to the application will see the update in their news feed. There are many advanced features in Got Decisions that haven't been covered here, but this tutorial should give you everything you need to get started building applications and working with your data. For more support, or to leave feedback for the Agori team, just send us an email: info@agoricorp.com. Thanks for watching.